Jake, your beard looks like you have the best Pokemon card collection in history. And you got the hot girl at school to come over, and she loves it. And she's all Twitter pated about it and wants to put a little smack batter on your hoorah bone. But you politely, yet awkwardly ask her to leave because Pornhub has a fresh release and you don't want to miss that.
What the fuck? If you do happen to hear that, it will be the first and last time.
Take 3.
We're on take 3 now.
Take 3.
First time was Mason's fault. Second time was your fault. Now we're on 3.
But we shouldn't have a third take.
Hopefully not.
We should have a 1 take, especially not a 4th take.
I know I'm a one-hit wonder. You can just ask Luke. I mean, I did 1 take and I'm done. Every time.
That's what Jessica said.
But I didn't say 1 minute. I said 1 take.
All right, we're doing speak pipes. We have been slacking. We actually did retreaded speak pipes in the last podcast. So we're
sorry for that.
Yeah.
That was also Mason's fault. So he's fired, I think 3 times today so far.
You know, we gave Luke 9 lives and he ate them up real quick. I think Mason's on 8.8.
Luke is -12 at least.
Oh, if Luke was a cat, he'd been dead.
He would have been shot with that 22 with the plastic can on it.
Yes. He would be with the feral cat can. That's what we call it.
The feral cat is the name of the can. Get down. That was good. This is the kind of shit we get to do actually here. Today we've been sitting around spending most of the day trying to name suppressors. And it's a really shitty job, I guess.
It is. It's like not straightforward. And there's so many names already out in the world that it's hard to get a new novel name.
Yeah. So naming new products, that's a big battle of the day. Anyways.
We are doing Speak Pipes. The best way to get a question answered or to talk to us is through SpeakPipe, which is on the website. If you go to the contact page, it's easy to record a SpeakPipe.
You sounded like a hired commercial voice right there.
Oh, well, no, I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. I stutter. You know, I don't enunciate. Apparently, I mumble. So that was just one of my highlights. So we're gonna do 10 today and probably 10 tomorrow because we're gonna get caught up. So we appreciate them. Please keep them coming. And here we go.
Hey, fellas, I got a question about a 22 Creedmoor, comparing it to a 22 250 with a fast twist barrel. If you got a 22 250 that's got a quicker twist rate that can shoot heavier bullets, what are you really gaining with the 22 Creedmoor? I mean, are they just reinventing the wheel? Is there really anything that's standing out that would kind of push a guy towards a 22 Creedmoor over a fast twist 22 250?
Like I said before, this is our 3rd take, so we were just kind of done almost answering this all the way, but that's a really great question.
Yes.
To start.
I'll put my 10 cents as first off, where did you get one? So you must be building it from scratch. If I was building it from scratch, I would not even think about the 22 250. I would go right to the 22 Creed. And then Jake had a bunch more in the last take to add.
So right now what I did is I jumped on Midway USA just to look at brass for both categories. Not that Midway carries everything, but I can tell you for 22 Creedmoor, there is Alpha Munitions, Peterson, Hornady, Nosler, and Gunworks, which Gunworks is also ADG as far as maybe not anymore. ADG ADG hasn't offered it in a long time.
Interesting.
So maybe they're just doing it for Gunworks. If you look at the 22 250 side, they have Lapua. 22 Creedmoor does not have Lapua. So you do have a fantastic brass option. So to go back to your question, with 2 20-inch 22 cal barrels, both 8 twists, one's chambered in 22 250, the other in 22 Creed. The horsepower of each cartridge is extremely similar, so there's really nothing to be gained from one or the other. So then you come down to variables like factory ammo options and brass options for those that reload. Like I said, you do have quality brass available on both sides. So, I mean, it's really up to you. If you want to be old school and you want to have something that not a lot of people have, then, there's not a lot of 22 250s being built nowadays. So if you do load and you load in that Lapua brass, you can have a fantastic rifle. One of the things that I guess the question is, if 22 Creedmoor is mainstream and it's not going anywhere and will probably outlast the 22 250 for some reason, or why wouldn't you go with the 22 Creed anyway? I mean, it's a good question, but it's almost like the difference between a 7 PRC and a 7 Rem Mag, or a 7 Rem Mag and a 28 Nos, or things that are those are not similar case capacities, but basically the old version of a cartridge versus the new version that has a faster twist barrel for heavier bullets.
Yeah, and if you look at this, let's take the 6.5 PRC. Almost every major ammo manufacturer now makes factory ammo for them.
Yes.
Well, I don't see it being any different with the 22 Creed.
No, and it would probably be like we just said, it'll probably be the next in line to be SAMI spec'd. 25 Creed just went through SAMI, and, you know, Hornady has a really good in with SAMI to get shit like that done, so I imagine 22 Creed will be up next. We think that obviously the 6.5 Creed is, but I think the 6 Creed is too. And that would mean that would the last Creedmoor would be the 22 Creed.
And it comes it comes down to components to me too. Like, oh, I'm going to reload. Well, in the next 3 years, what are you going to see more of? 22 Creed stuff or 22 250 stuff? It's easily going to be 22 Creed.
Yes. Not to mention, you can neck down any number of 6 Creed brass that we didn't talk about. So you still have more brass options than just what is 22 250, whereas there's nothing you can really manipulate up or down to make a 22 250 case. It's kind of got to just be 22 250.
Yeah, and if that's, you know, like the 6UM is my thing, if the 22 250 is your thing, you're not going to lose.
Sometimes it's cool to be different.
Yep.
I mean, if everybody else is jumping on whatever train, but yeah, if you're a loader, there's really no benefit one way or the other. You could be just fine one way or the other.
All right, number 2.
Hey, what's up, guys? First off, thanks for all the great stuff you guys put out. Really enjoy the podcast. The question for you guys is, I have a Seekins PH2 chambered in 7-300 PRC. And, well, it's really hard to spot impacts and stay on target for follow-up shots, even suppressed with that cartridge, because it's big and over. So I'm looking to rechamber that rifle into something else. Or I should say rebarrel that rifle into something else. My initial thoughts were to take a 7 PRC cartridge and neck it down to either 6.5 or 25 caliber. And I was wondering if you guys think that would make much of a significant difference in being able to stay on target and see impacts versus what I got it chambered in now. If you guys have any other options, I'd love to hear them too. It is a long action, and Seekins Precision's long actions are slightly longer than a standard long action, I believe. So it's got to be a long action cartridge to feed properly, I think. Could be wrong on that. Love to hear your guys' input on it. Thanks.
He's shooting my favorite cartridge right now. So a 6.57 PRC improved is a reamer that we have in a rifle that is actually my hunting rifle right now. It's a 20-inch barrel with the OG suppressor on there. It's shooting a 147 at 3150. And my wife, who is, I wouldn't say she's small in stature, but she's short, is able to get behind the rock stock and definitely spot impacts and stay in the rifle. So that should pretty much answer the question for you there. And I think with that bullet going that velocity, there's really nothing that you can't get done with that package. So a 6.57 PRC is a reamer that we have. And we could definitely get you a barrel spun up for that.
Yeah. And you didn't say which suppressor in particular, but the 6.5 PRC, which is very similar, is about the maximum that I can shoot and spot my own hits. So I think if you have good shooting fundamentals, you pay attention, you'll definitely be able to spot hits past 300 yards with it. A 25, that's kind of like you're going to get a little less recoil, but a little less terminal performance on the BC side. So it's kind of dealer's choice on that. But
I don't know if that chassis is easy to shoot either if he's sticking with the chassis.
Yeah, I've never shot a 6.57 PRC.
He did say it was a chassis, right? Or did he say Havoc PH2?
I don't remember now.
Because that's a stock. I think you said Havoc PH2.
Either way, that's like right at the upper limit. So like I said, if you have good fundamentals and you're a strong lad, I guess, you'll be able to spot your own hits.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is a 700 footprint as well. So you could upgrade your stock to something that's a little more shootable like the rock stock.
I think you can with it.
Yeah, I think you said Havoc PH2, and that's definitely in that stock. And it's a 700 in there.
Yeah, it sounds like we're trying to sell you a bill of goods, but every person that shoots the rock stock can instantly reports back to us that they can spot hits, stay in the rifle better.
Yes.
So
that's your end goal. Then, those are some things that you can do.
Yep. And I would personally, I'm not sold on the 25. I haven't shot them enough to tell you yay or nay. But if that was my debate, I'd probably go with the 6.5 just so I could use a 147.
Is it a 133 ELDM now?
130,
25 cal?
134, isn't it?
Let's see, 134. Yeah.
Burger's a 134. It's like flipped. The Burger's a 133 and the ELDM's a 134.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know like Nick's wife shot a moose with that 134, did freaking fantastic with the quarter pounder, as he calls it.
The quarter pounder. That's got a 645 G1 on the 134.
So 631?
645.
645 versus
G1.
a 690, I believe, on the 147-ish. So you're talking 50 points plus difference. So I would, velocity-wise, I just don't know enough about the 25-7 Pierce.
697 on the 147.
So you're talking 60 points difference.
Yes.
I've seen a whole bunch of fucking death with that 147, so it'd be hard to beat.
Yep.
So
yeah, we got that reamer though. I don't know that a lot of people do. So reach out to us and we can get you rebarreled. Unknown munitions.
All right, question 3.
This is Josephus Bartholomew Meow. How y'all doing? I'd like to know when to trim brass and when not to trim brass. Thank you.
That's an easy one.
Go ahead.
So, okay. So to start, a lot of guys, like when we're loading new brass ammo, we do trim everything to length, but the ideal thing to do is to fire form your brass first. So wait until after the first firing. And there is a min spec or a trim to spec that you'll read in your reloading manual. But our process is to measure 10 cases, take the shortest length, and trim everything to that length. So your question about when to trim, you would want to consult your loading manual to not exceed the maximum overall length of the case itself. Because basically, if you picture where that shoulder goes, you can actually run the case mouth into the end of your chambering.
Right.
If the brass is too long. So you don't want to go longer than that. And then as far as what to trim to, like I said, measure 10, take the shortest length, trim to those. Trim everything to that shortest length.
Basically, that's what, when I was selling Bertram, I was like, whatever the shortest one is, measure to that.
Trim it all there.
Fucker to that.
Now, of course, if it's all new, you are going to then get some variance, right? So if you take 10 new pieces, measure all the difference, there are shoulder differences and all kinds of other things that might throw your measurement off again. So that's why I say you want to shoot through it first. You can do you can do a little bit of a trim if you just want to square everything up. But don't take a whole bunch of meat off before you fire it the first time. Let everything fire form into your chamber. And then you're not going to get a lot of variance once you do that first big trim where everything is down to the same measurement. Everything will kind of grow equally, and then you'll know when you get to be too long, and then you trim everything back.
All right. Here, this one's a good one. Number 4.
Hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. And keep in mind, I'm half Indian, feather not dot. So my beard looks like the first 6 months of puberty on your balls. But Ryan, your beard looks like you're an up-and-coming pop star, and you just left a Diddy party, and you liked it. Jake, your beard looks like you have the best Pokemon card collection in history, and you got the hot girl at school to come over, and she loves it, and she's all Twitter-pated about it and wants to put a little smack batter on your hoorah bone, but you politely, yet awkwardly ask her to leave because Pornhub has a fresh release, and you don't want to miss that.
What the fuck? That's funny shit.
Okay.
You think he just spitballed that right on the spot there? Or he had it written down.
I bet he did fucking freelance that shit.
Well, I'd imagine that his memory's longer than his Peter then.
No shit, dude. What I like, my only rebuttal to that is, well, now we got to see your beard.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Which he did make a case for himself, but the first thing is to deflect off of you, right?
Yeah.
And then start your assault. So that's what he did. So that was a fucking good one.
Yeah. I already know I have the best beard in the world, so nothing can hurt my feelings.
A Pokemon card collection?
A Pokemon card collection.
I don't see the connection.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, that was good. Number 5.
Yeah, g'day. Yeah, Ken here from Australia. My question is about the 115 DTAC performance at low impact velocities. You've shot animals at extended ranges, and I was wondering, what do you estimate the impact velocities were? The reason I ask this is because I'm considering trying some 115s in my 6mm arc. The distances would never exceed 250 yards, with the majority between 100 to about 175.
At a guess, the muzzle velocity out of my arc bolt gun would be approximately, 2,550, 2,600 feet per second in that region. Would I still have enough velocity at 250 yards to achieve the carnage, if for want of a better word, that you've experienced? Cheers, mate. Have a good day. Love listening to you from the other side of the world.
He can't be dropping that much in 200 yards.
Down to, I don't know where his starting velocity, how long
26.
his barrel is.
2,600.
What did he say about 2050?
He said 2,550 to 2,600.
Oh, I thought he said 2050.
That's his muzzle velocity.
At and so he's dropping 500 feet per second at 250?
No. He didn't know how much he was going to drop. He said he was going to shoot inside of 250 yards. So if he's got a muzzle velocity at 2,600, does he still have enough velocity 250 yards out to have the level of carnage that you see?
The problem was I didn't understand proper English.
Don't worry, I was listening.
No, I was trying to understand, but I didn't understand. I speak proper American English.
Good Lord.
I'm just fucking with you. Dude, you're going to see, from what I've seen, the 1,300 feet per second, which is, well, we witnessed one at 1,200, and it was kind of a mixed results, but it was a weird situation. My uncle shot one, and I believe that it hit at 1,350 feet per second, and the cartridge it broke both shoulders, and it was just grape jelly inside, which is plenty. So I don't see a way that you won't see.
He's not even going to hit 2,000 feet per second at 250.
And I think it does its best work truly between 18 and 3,300. Okay. 1,800 feet per second and 3,350.
So he's just fine.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I think it'll be, you're not going to have a problem.
Yeah.
It's in its wheelhouse.
I think it's more important we talk about how it is that you weren't able to understand him and I could.
I just thought he said his muzzle or his impact velocity, how it would do at 2050. That's what I thought he said, not 2,500.
Yeah, he said it was muzzle velocity was going to be 2,550 to 2,600. He wanted to shoot 250 yards.
And if y'all remember, if you have a long speak pipe, I have a very fucking short.
That wasn't that long. Good Lord.
I have.
Thanks for reaching out from Australia.
Here's the thing with the DTAC, you will have no problems. I don't even know the lower limit. I'm going to try to find that out this year if the scenario is right.
Yeah.
Where it won't do a good job.
Ryan has told me before that if anybody in Australia would have him out to kill some kangaroos, that he would fist fight a kangaroo to be able to kill some.
And I want to murk some of those feral camels.
Feral camels.
Yeah.
That would be, I gotta look this shit up. Feral camel in Australia.
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
I think you just told me about this.
Dude, he has his daughter loading him magazines and he has a fucking Pump 308.
I just want to read like Wikipedia. Look. Australian feral camels are introduced populations of dromedary one-humped from the Middle East, North Africa, and the Indian subcontinent. In 2008, it was feared that Central Australia's feral camel population had grown to roughly 1 million animals and was projected to double every 8 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. That was in 2008. Wow. Camels are known to cause serious degradation of local environmental and cultural sites. So that's why they're killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see where they're at.
They're in Australia.
Post-kill analysis projected the original count to be around 600,000. So in 2013, a total of 160,000 camels were slaughtered. Holy shit. Estimating the feral population to have been reduced to around 300,000. Wow. They spent $19 million on a culling program in 2009.
I don't imagine they have a lot of predators either.
Yeah. That's a big animal. Yeah, what the fuck? Some hyenas? They have hyenas in Australia?
Well,
what's in Australia? Dingoes?
I don't think they have really any true predators. That's why the kangaroo
I think just the wild dog. Yeah.
Yeah, the kangaroo population's out of control too because they don't have any real predators except for humans. They also have a feral cat problem.
I think they have those. You remember that movie where there's like those big fucking mean worms that travel under the ground? Tremors? I bet you they have tremors in Australia. You just don't see them very often.
You know, take that out. A 115 DTAC nose ring. What was the dude's name in Tremors? The fucking guy with the gun? With the the gun?
Lord.
The whole fucking arsenal?
He was a badass.
His name was Alan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's your genre, dude.
I think he was the only one that was married.
Yeah, the Reba McEntire.
Yes.
Yeah, good show.
He had a good fucking, remember his basement?
Yeah.
It was like all stainless, locked up.
Fucking double reinforced concrete.
Yeah. That was a good movie. Number one is always the best.
Number 1.
And then I think there's like 27 of those now.
They
But
fucking trail off after that.
yeah, number 1 was the best.
Anyways, in short, to answer your question, you'll be right in the wheelhouse of where that thing would work. Phenomenal.
And if you happen to kill some camels, send us some pictures.
Or if you need somebody to come help you kill camels, let us know. Okay.
You know, camel hump soup is supposed to be pretty good.
So is a 2-humper better because it has 2 hump soup?
You just make more soup, I guess.
Enhance your shooting experience with STOCKY'S stocks. Are you tired of struggling with mediocre rifle stocks that hinder your performance? Imagine having a high-quality rifle stock that not only enhances your accuracy, but also provides superior strength and a lightweight build. STOCKY'S Stocks offers a wide range of premium rifle stocks manufactured with hand layup carbon fiber construction, a patented carbon fiber AccuBlock, and multiple finish options. Whether you're a long-range shooter or a hunting enthusiast, our stocks are perfect for you. Experience unmatched precision and durability with STOCKY'S stocks. We provide stock installation instructions, technical support, and guidance to help you choose the right stock for your rifle. Upgrade your shooting game today with STOCKY'S stocks.
All right, here we go.
Okay, my name's John. I'm building a 7 Solomon. I'm doing a heavy bullet, and I want to use the 195. And I know it's not going to go super fast. I get it. I'm just doing this because it sounds like fun. What the hell? Why do you guys hate the 195 Burger EOL? Thanks.
You know, I've actually been hearing a lot of good things about that recently, not bad things.
I can only go, I don't hate any bullet. I just know what I've seen with that bullet.
Mm.
And there is nothing that I would use over a 180 ELDM if I was building a 6.5 or a 7 Solom 200. To me, you're not, I don't think the BC, I think it's 30 points. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it's around 30 points different.
Oh, shit, let's look it up.
But why would you take, and I have heard good things about the 195, but I've heard a whole lot of bad things about the 195. And why did it kind of lose favor for a while? Maybe they fixed it. But
well, we all kind of know the story. It's like the same idea as like the Fed 215 versus the match primer. Everybody kind of has like this story where it's the experience of the guy making the primers. We don't know if that's the fucking truth or not, but it's like the story, right? But we've heard enough stories about they had a thick jacket and then it wasn't expanding, so they went to a thin jacket.
See, it wasn't the jacket. It was, the way I understand it, it's the lead. The lead's way farther forward, and there's less of a void behind the opening. So you're basically hitting lead, boom, and it's not opening.
796 on the 180, 755 on the 195. So then I ask you this question. What is that, a 40-point difference?
Yep.
Why would you, if you have 2 bullets and one has like rave reviews with a bunch of support, right, for killing animals, a 50-point better BC, why would you even want to go with that 195 that maybe it does great for you, but potentially there are more complaints and it's not even as streamlined as the 180.
I knew the 180 was better, but I only thought it was by 30. It's 50 points.
Yeah, dude. So 755 on the 195 and 796. So we're 41 points.
Yeah. I would take the 180 every time, like I said. And I do think, I will say this, when I say something's bad, I only get bad reports, right? Rarely do you have a guy that'll come in and say, well, I've had fucking phenomenal results with a 195 EOL.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hear more of the bad.
Yes.
But now I've witnessed, I think, 7 total. I know another guy that shot 3 more elk, wasn't great. So now I have 10 or 11, it could be 9 of firsthand results. Not, I would say 7 firsthand results, 7 firsthand results, and 3 somebody that I trust immensely saying they just punched right through. So why would you not use a 180 that actually better ballistic performance?
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
I think both of us would choose the 180. And the 180, the only issue I ever heard of from a 180 is being over-rotated and throwing jackets. But that was almost always from a 28 Nosler. Yeah, so if you're in a 7 Som and you're not going to have that issue, then it's a 180 all day.
And you've seen the 108s and the 180, that problem that people keep bringing up has kind of gone away.
Yeah.
So I think Hornady has kind of addressed that situation, I'm guessing.
Well, also, I think 28 Noslers kind of kicked the bucket, more or less.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people shooting 6 UMs with 108s, and they're not having that popping problem.
Yeah, okay.
I had it on that 16-inch barrel, but I think it was plus P'd, and it was scoring that jacket pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyways, I would take a 180. Why would you use a 195 less ballistic? And there is I would say a lot of hate, but there's a lot of people having issues with that particular bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you?
Why would you is a good question. Now, some guys like to go against the grain or whatever, and maybe you just, all your buddies shoot the 195 and hear nothing but good things. I know a guy that shoots a 198 tip who kills everything he fucking points it at, and who is one of the most critical shooters that we ever did load development for. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a goat fucker.
Yeah. What's the name? Wind River Pack Goats?
Yep. I used to be a goat fucker, so don't say I wasn't.
Yeah. Doesn't he have your goats? A little bit? No?
Nope, none of mine.
Okay.
Nope, nothing. I was gonna give him the rent pack goat thing, and then it never worked out. So,
but I mean, this is a guy to me who was, we built him rifles. We did a lot of load dev. He used to live local, now he's in Wyoming, but we did a lot of work with him, and he shot, I believe it was 175 Elite Hunters. I think we did 180 hybrids. I think we did 180 ELDMs, and this guy settled on the 198 tip and swears by it. So you never know.
And he's killed enough.
Kills a lot of shit.
A lot of shit to say, hey, this works.
Yeah.
And I think it may be just that particular bullet, because everybody else is shitting on the 230 A tip. Everybody else is shitting on the 153 6.5 A tip.
Yeah.
Lots of people I know have had trouble with the 153.
Now, I would say for like competition and accuracy shooting, the A tips are phenomenal. But we're talking about the killing side of that.
Yeah, I think that the aluminum tip breaks off differently in all the animals. But I bet you Eric is probably in the 10, 15 animals at least.
Yeah.
And like from short to far, he's done well with it. Yeah. And he loves the fucking 28 Nosler.
Yes. Loves it.
So I would say, just if you want to run with it, pick it and shoot it and see what happens, but please give us the feedback.
Yes.
And like I said, I don't hate bullets. I just have results that I don't like.
Hey fellas, my name's Darren. Just wanted to reach out and say thank you for doing the podcast. I've really learned a lot. I am more interested in bear hunting. Specifically, how do you go about scouting and finding a good area for bears? You touched a little bit upon bait sites, and the wind, but I'm wondering, what else do you look for in a bait site that makes it good? You mentioned Shane and Eric and how they had gone kind of an unorthodox way of doing it, put their bait somewhere that you didn't necessarily think was a great site, but it did end up working. They sound like master baiters, and I'm just wondering if we can get them on the podcast as well. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Nice.
I don't know if he's talking about spot and stock or just talking about baiting.
He's talking about baiting, how to pick a bait site.
Baiting, to me, it's, you got a lesson. To me, it's how can I get this wind in as many drainages as possible?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way you think about it. To me, it's really pretty simple.
I think having some heavy timber that's close.
Yep.
Right. So they have somewhere to run to, somewhere to feel safe. And I'm just regurgitating the shit that like Adam said and you've told me, but
yep.
If you picture, like if you were driving down the road on the side of a mountain and all of a sudden you notice this area and it looks like this finger ridge kind of comes off the mountain to a point, and maybe that finger ridge is a couple 100 yards long, but it goes down and it's just like steep fucking drop-offs all the way around for 260 degrees. Like you would go out to the tip of that finger ridge and put all your smelly shit out there and do whatever you're going to do to try, because that smell is being drifted down into all those canyons where all the bears are down low down there for water or whatever. Then they come up because they smell something, but you're just like Ryan said, you're trying to spread the smell to the largest area possible. So how do you do that? I mean, the smell doesn't technically go up. The smell is going to want to go down. Mm-hmm. Especially it depends on when you're baiting. Obviously in the evening, the cold is dropping down the canyons and yeah.
A lot of times you get, I call them incidental bears. They'll just happen to walk through that scent stream and it's like not the best. You'd have to think about, where do you think bears would walk? Bears are lazy. Bears will follow the travel, even elk and deer, the path of least resistance. So think about it in terms like that. How would a bear put it in, you have to be 50 yards or 100 yards away from water, but bears like to go in creek bottoms. But it's like the numbers game is get something that's super smelly. They like the sweeter, the better smell. They seem to like that a lot more than like a dead fish smell, but they'll come to either. And then you put that out there in a place where the wind will be in lots of different drainages is the fastest way, but it still takes on average 7 days to get a bear to hit a bait.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can put out today and hopefully one hits it tomorrow. But also, if you can go back there year in and year out, those bears come to expect it. and they'll start heading that way, at least walking by to see if there's any treats there.
Yeah.
But it's not. People, I think, put way too much pressure on bear baiting. It's not hard.
Oh.
And then once you start baiting it, you got to fucking keep baiting it because that bear will only stick around a day or so. And if it's not filled back up with the fucking treats, it's going to roll someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Brent Jarbo, CEO of ADG. For the past decade, we've been dedicated to crafting the highest quality, 100% American-made rifle brass to meet all your hunting and long-range shooting needs. This year, we're excited to introduce our new 6.8 Western and 270 WSM cases. With over 250 years of combined industry experience, we're committed to excellence. Look for our distinct orange boxes wherever you buy your reloading supplies. Whenever you need quality rifle cartridge cases, choose ADG Premium Rifle Brass, where precision meets performance.
And finding the shit that works for you in your area, if, whatever they're eating. Like we have some super smelly shit that's magic sauce, but there's what's the one in Alaska? Is it 907?
Bait 'em up. 907 bait 'em.
907, yeah. 907 Baits they know what the fuck they're doing. So invest a little bit of money in some smelly shit, stuff that hangs in trees, whatnot. People do like little burn piles so you can burn honey and anything that puts off a good smell when it gets crispy.
And the
bacon.
The best thing I've ever taught is if you can avoid it, bears, whatever you like, bears will like. So don't get them dog food and shitty food. Anything that you like, bears will like.
I went to Walmart and bought like those fucking 5-pound bags of cheap cereal.
Yes.
Now then you can go and you can get like molasses. If you go to like a restaurant supply store, they have a lot of big drums of shit and gallon size that you don't normally see at the grocery store. So you don't have to spend a ton of money, but sweet stuff, smelly stuff.
They get on their feet, they track it around, other bears smell it. And
we don't even use barrels. We're talking just like on the ground.
Yep. We just fill them with logs and rocks and put it in the ground. And by the way, the tree where we bait bears fell down. Yeah. The snag is no longer there. Made me cry a little. Forgot to tell you that.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Those snags are pretty cool and iconic, and they fall down. It makes you sad. It's kind of funny. Anyways, yeah, don't overthink it.
Probably the same fuckers that crawled up in it the other year.
Ripped it off.
Yeah.
They'd come down and he'd get some nookie, then he'd climb up and try to get that lollipop you put up there. Then he'd climb back down, get some bear nookie, and then he'd climb back up. It's pretty funny.
Sounds like the life.
It is, man. Grunting and snorting and farting and climbing trees. Eating some fucking fruit snacks.
Oh, man.
Anyways, don't overthink it. It is not that hard. It's more about consistency.
Hi there. My name is Michael, and I wanted to see if you guys could possibly get Sean Carlock and Colton Bagnoli on and have all of you guys sit and talk about the 7 broke backcountry. So, hope you guys are doing well. Thanks.
I'm pretty sure we'd all have the same opinion. By the way, you don't hear much 7 backcountry talk already.
Wow. It's almost like a podcast
predicted that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like we came out ahead and said, this will be a fucking lead balloon. And it's funny now because the chatter, there's some guys taking pop shots on that thread or on that YouTube video we put out. And now it's really slowed down.
I'm going to look up some ammo, see if I can't find some ammo.
Yeah. I want to see a reloading fucking die. Have we seen that yet?
I haven't. Oh, dude. Midway has the ammo in stock.
How much is it?
$3.20 a round. It's not bad.
No.
$3. Yeah, they got it.
Which bullet?
There's a 195 Elite Hunter, 155 grain polymer tip is what it says, 168 Barnes LRX, and a 170 polymer tip.
I just want to see how it is on the 2-year mark.
Oh, it's a Terminal Ascent is the one that says, yeah, Terminal Ascent. Yeah, so I guess there's ammo. Doesn't mean you can reload it.
Let's search up a reloading die.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. 7 backcountry.
There, that they came out of the thing swinging. Now it's kind of really.
Oh, they have. So Midway has a ton of Fierce rifles on here. Weatherby, Horizon Firearms. I just looked up 7 backcountry and there's not a die.
That's interesting.
Anyways, it would probably be a pretty good conversation. We've had both of them on individually. But they would have similar opinions and
Colton may not. It'd be interesting to see what Colton has to say. What would be better is to have Carlock and Tyler Friel, who's used it a lot, on.
Oh, yeah.
See what he has to say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We appreciate the suggestion for guests for sure. If you guys got any other suggestion for guests, always hit us up.
Yeah. We've tried to get many of the people on that you ask, and some don't want to come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey guys, I reached out a while ago about a 22 UM instead of a 6 because I'm from Missouri. The only two things I shoot are deer and coyotes, at least rifle related anyways. I might shoot a deer a year. I don't really care about deer hunting. I'm a big coyote hunter. So when I reached out about a 22 UM, you guys weren't ready to do one yet. So new question is, would you guys be willing to sell me a 22 UM reamer and I can just do my own testing? I'm fine with doing that. I've got a gunsmith here locally that's one of my good friends. We hang out all the time. We could do this as our own little project. If you guys didn't want to do that, how long before we see 22 UM being an available cartridge from you guys?
I think we only did one, right?
Yes. It didn't work so well.
Yeah, we got no problem though. If you want to get a reamer and do some own testing and do your own testing and give us some feedback, I will send a note to JGS and let them know to sell you one. So if you'd like to go that route, just email me, Jake, directly at support@unknownmunitions.com once you hear this, and we'll get that set up.
Yeah, we had some brass issues. I think, my personal opinion, I don't know this is a fact, this is an opinion. We may be at the point of diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Because we did have some.
It's going stupid fast, wasn't it?
No, actually, well, the first time it was, but we couldn't get any reloads out of it because it was too much pressure. And the second time we had a weird brass shoulder. It was separated at the shoulder, just below shoulder, remember? But I don't know. We don't know enough. Is it the reamer?
Okay.
Is it the chambering? Is it the brass? We'd actually have to chamber up another one.
Yeah.
And try it again. To know the facts.
We'd love to work with you to get some information back, though. If that's something you're still interested in, just hit us up.
Yep. What's the email?
support@unknownmunitions.com.
Yeah. I wanted Jake to say it. So when they email him, he doesn't yell at me.
I already said it.
All right. I know. I want you to say it again.
Okay.
Ready?
Hey guys, a couple weeks ago you mentioned on the podcast you had found a particular color and brand of paint pen that you'd had the best results with, but you didn't actually say what color and brand it was. So what brand and color should we be picking up for our needs?
That's funnier than shit.
So this whole color thing actually started with Keaton, and then I think that came from Form. Can't remember right. I tell you what, we're gonna get. Form has the most experience of paint pen, and we will. I don't know that the brand is going to matter. I think it was the color. Just some of them tend to dry quicker internally as an anaerobic sealant. So anaerobic without air. We've just had some paint pen that would not fucking fully cure in an anaerobic environment, and some do really well. So that was the difference, I think. But I tell you what, we'll get with Form on that and make sure we get you the right spec, and then we'll mention it on the next podcast.
I guarantee you that motherfucker's going to make it pink.
It could be.
Or purple.
He's just going to say that to fuck with guys.
Something obnoxious.
But there's something going on there where some of them like to cure all the way and some don't.
What's funny about that, and you came from a background where you had thread locker, and people argue this, it's just like the fucking tone or sound of a can. People argue with us all the time. Whatever it is with blue thread locker, I put it on lots and lots of guns, and it never fucking seems to dry. So that's all we're saying is the paint pen is way more apt to dry and stick and stay than the blue thread, whatever thread locker. And what's the brand name? It's
Loctite is
Loctite. To me, every time I take it off, even if I've used red, sometimes it hasn't fully set up. The paint pen is more consistent. I'm not saying it's a better thread locker. It's just more consistent at locking up and staying.
Personally, I think the lack of locking up for the Loctite is contamination in general.
Just residue on the actual screw?
Yeah, it could really be anything. So some guys are even using what they think is a cleaner that cleans and leaves no residue before they, when you're degreasing. some guys are using stuff that they think is good, but is not necessarily a good choice for
brake cleaner.
Yeah, you guys, fingernail polish remover is acetone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice. Now some brake cleaner is not good. If you're in California,
Yeah, because
they have like the low Vox or whatever the fuck it is. That's not good shit.
Why does California fuck everything up?
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Electrical cleaner is better than brake cleaner.
Carb cleaner is not your answer.
Carb cleaner is not a good answer. There's it has some like anti-rust prohibitive shit in there, so not a good choice. So anyways, if you're having issues like that, there's more to it than just the color of paint pen or the model of paint pen. Degreasing is probably the most important step prior to locking everything up.
Yeah, so we'll get the answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I guess I should say we use Prep All. So across the line now, building rifles, there's a gallon jug of shit you can buy on Amazon. It's like $35. It just says Prep All on the front, and that works very well.
Prep All.
Prep All.
It's a degreaser.
Yes. Well, it's a generally a solvent cleaner, degreaser, something of this nature.
Yep. And every screw should
everything.
Everything should
should be laid out on a towel, like a really clean towel. Then you spray all the screws down. And you take each screw and you wipe the threads as you're going, because all that shit is down in those threads. You got to, use some effort there.
Every variable. It's going to be pink. I know it's going to be a pink.
That could be pink.
That's it.
Hey, another thing I've been contemplating lately, I haven't built a rifle in a while. The last one was that 6.57 PRC improved. So I was going to leave it up to the listeners here. Maybe we do some, I don't know how we're going to do this, but leave a Speakpipe, do something, email us so that we can build a rifle and a cartridge that you guys want to see results from. So it can be the most, wildcat or whatever it is. We can pretty much do anything here. So if we get a really good idea come in, we will give it a go and build a hunting rifle in said cartridge and get some data for you guys. So if you have an opinion, maybe we'll take like a top 3 if anybody.
A 17 UM.
A 17 UM. Good Lord. That's probably a little extreme. I was thinking like a 20 mil cannon.
Yeah, 30 millimeter chain gun.
Something I'm already going to do. We did get the barrel in for that 37 XC.
Yes.
I still want to do that with the new Burger Bullet, which is a 410 hybrid target. Yeah. So we still want to chamber that up. I think I have the reamer already too. We literally have everything.
The fucker's in the 9s for a G1.
Yes. I just got to wait basically for them to be done shooting my gun. Actually, no, they didn't shoot mine.
Yeah, they're shooting mine.
That's right. I'm going to get that shit moving. Yeah. So we'll start with that, and then we'll get some 37XC data, and then, like I said, you guys choose a cartridge, some type of wildcat, and get after it.
Think outside the bun. Don't make it gay.
Yeah, we may or may not be. Maybe we'll try it on. Maybe a Raven will be ready for that, or we got some titanium shit in the works.
6 Backcountry.
6 Backcountry. Man, that would be horrible. What was the one that Form was going to work on with the Sig Fury? He was going to neck down Sig.
It's top secret.
Oh, top secret. Oh, shit.
Simply because of the brass problem.
Gotcha.
But he's on to something with that.
Huh.
But that would be a good one we could just surprise people with.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hit us up, though. Give us something fun to do. You can call out the whole build if you want. Barrel, fucking stock, chassis, action, all that kind of shit.
Got several ETAs on the scope. The earliest we can tell you is early winter or late winter, right after the first of the year.
That will be for retail.
That retail. Yeah. We should have some protos by September, October.
Is this new information?
No, just information that if you go off their timeline is what they said. So I would not think this scope would be for sale until 26.
Yep. For your hunting season of 2026.
Yeah.
Should be all tested, ready to go by then.
If you didn't know it, we're a little gun shy on timelines now, so we try to push it as far away as possible.
Yeah. We're also going to build Ryan's going to build a test apparatus so we can bang test all the scopes before they leave.
Oh yeah, I already have good insight on that, actually.
Yeah.
Seal the deal.
Well, you got plenty of time to get that done.
It's not very hard either.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah, we're going to test every one to make sure you don't.
What's the name of that shit when you shine it through the scope? You always got a good memory.
Oh, fuck. The collimator?
Collimator.
Collimator.
Yes.
Yeah.
The colonnator.
It checks
So
your
you
colon.
shoot up your ass so you clean out your colon.
Let me put this light up your ass to see if you have some cancer.
Nice.
I see some corn.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we could say so Rockstock light update. We just asked for the first printed one. And we decided to go with we really didn't want to do a grind to fit pad, but I volunteered our team over here to be doing that.
That's another subject that's kind of like irritates me is people think this shit just magically happens.
Yes.
And it kind of pisses me off sometimes. It's like, we are not trying to go back through we did with the Rockstock. We're trying to make a nice, even rollout where everything happens when it's supposed to happen. But people are getting kind of fucking nasty on the Rockstock light. It'll happen and it will be right this time. And that's what you should worry about.
They want it now.
I know. I fucking want it now, but it's just not the way the world works. Is there's more than, just me and Jake trying to figure this out and Form trying to figure this shit out. There's other parties here that we're not necessarily waiting for, but all the pieces of the puzzle have to come together and it does take some time. To be right.
Yeah.
And we don't want to tell you we're going to have these all out in 90 days and then a fucking year later we get them all done. We want to have these will be out in 90 days and we actually fucking do it. And we've learned if you look at we have a track record. Let's look at the fucking suppressors. You ordered the suppressors, those motherfuckers are almost everybody that ordered on opening day pretty much either has a tracking number or they're waiting on it to get out of jail.
Yeah.
So we're trying to fix the things we did in the past so we can fucking hit our numbers. But fuck people.
Ryan's
give us a
very
little
passionate
leadway.
today.
Well, it's just like you said, well, dude, I've said a lot of things that were wrong. Fuck, you shouldn't even listen to our asses because we say a lot of things are wrong. But we're trying to make the fucking hunting space a little better. It takes a little time. Give us a little bit of wiggle room. I don't know.
I would say, so if we wanted to talk like timeline, so if we see this printed one and it miraculously is perfect on the first go.
Yeah.
We still got to source a large amount of pads if we're going to be doing that here. So we have to put an order ahead of time.
Yeah.
Mold takes, we're just going to call it 4 weeks to produce.
Yep. Plus they got to be
4 weeks for texture.
Yep.
And then testing. So on Stockyy's side, they make that first stock. They got to get everything set up in their machine for inlets.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like one inlet works for every stock kind of thing. So that's probably another 4 weeks. So right now, before we open sales, we're probably at least 3 to 4 months out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want to send you a turd that you got to send back to us. We want to do this one time.
But we are going to make sure that now we're about halfway through our Rockstock drop from a few weeks ago, which we had promised within 90 days or 120 days, I believe. We hope to sometime in August and then do another. Yeah, that's going to be tight for hunting season, man. Some people will get them, but some people won't.
Yeah, maybe we do 50 so we can kind of speed up the process or something like that.
Yeah. We're going to figure out how to make more. If you didn't get on that last drop, we're trying to tell you, basically, we're trying to figure out how to do this as quick as possible to get you guys more before hunting season, but that's rapidly approaching.
It is. And it does. Supply and demand thing. So
anyways,
we'll hopefully figure that out. But on the light, it's coming. So is the scope. You don't have to yell at me. I promise you, I'm not holding it up.
Send some speak pipes about our up gun build for us here.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We're going to 6.5 Creedmoor.